on really quick. Ryan Edrington, I hope I'm saying your name right. Let's go ahead and bring Ryan on. We've got Ryan Edrington, boom, over here today, and I'm super pumped. And I want to tell everyone why I've got Ryan on the phone. Like, who is he? Like, you guys have seen me interview, I don't know, Auschwitz, who's the Olympian, and, you know, all the queer little weird things I get into. But why Ryan? Ryan posted a powerful question on a networking group we've been a part of, and he just asked boldly, as I'm learning, Ryan is just natively bold. He said, hey, who's breaking the 7-figure mark, and let's talk. And that made me jump over and talk to Ryan a little bit. Quick background on Ryan. I asked Ryan, what is he want to be known for? And he's like, well, I mean, I've got a thriving company. I'm a husband, proud. I'm a father, proud. And I said, but you're a veteran too, right? And he said, yeah, let me tell you. And he started unpacking how pivotal being a veteran was to being a business owner. And these things sound like they're just a molecule for him, where they're bonded together, that being a veteran has led to so many of his successes. So that's kind of the high level overview of who is Ryan. He's the owner of Xcellent Xteriors, and he's been a prominent figure in our local networking group because of his persistence and his value, his ethic. Everyone always talks about his ethic that they bring. And then he also lends himself just ad hoc to doing little lessons. And I saw that you brought up EOS Worldwide, and I'll even ask you about that at some point. So welcome to the show, Ryan, and thanks for being here, dude.
Thanks, Grant, man. That was a great introduction. I really appreciate it.
I try to be everyone's hype beast, you know. So let's give everyone some context. You were unpacking this a little bit, but what drove you to ask? You and I both know business owners usually hold their numbers and their place in the world tight to their chest. So what made you ask this very bold 7-figure question? What prompted that?
Sure. Well, you know, I believe talking about finances, everyone is so protected amongst their finances. No one wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
And maybe a lot of that is because no one really understands it. We're afraid of it. Why are most people afraid of something? It's because you don't understand it.
That's truth.
And so, you know, I just wanted to pose the question. I mean, I know where my finances are. I know where we're going. And I wanted to, you know, I gave a little hint in that question.
Yeah.
You know, my company, we are going to break 7 figures this year.
Yeah.
And I guess if nothing else, it's kind of like, you know, the old saying, iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
I want to find other like-minded business owners locally that are on the same journey. And I found that in a different community that I'm in, it's not local, but it's a mastermind that we meet once a quarter. And but I would really like to develop something like that here locally.
Yeah. Well, and you hit on a great point. Like, I literally, in this morning's show, I literally just mentioned iron sharpening iron. And I think that as we adult, we just get so tired of critique. And I just read another parallel that why do people stop counting calories? They're sick of the score showing them that they're not making it anywhere. And they have to get gut level honest. And to reciprocate, my main bread and butter is the website company. We have the bookkeeping company, which is just killing it. I'm at the helm of the website company. I also do training. But to reciprocate, our goal is the $500,000 mark. We're not there yet, right? So we've been hovering at the low 6 figures and moving our way. And this is partly why I wanted to talk to you as well, because I just want to magnetize the people who are thinking at the 7 and 8 figure realm. And it's just matter of fact. So I really appreciate the question. So let's talk about this real quick. You mentioned that being a veteran has really made a huge impact for you. Could you unpack that a little bit? Like, how has that led to your growth?
Sure. Yeah. So, you know, I'm born and raised here in Lakeland, probably graduated high school 2000. So somewhere 99, early 2000, I didn't really like school. I knew I wasn't going to go to college, but yet I know I needed to do something.
Yeah.
And so I joined the Marine Corps, joined Marine Corps Infantry. And while I was in, 9/11 happened, kind of changed the course of the history of my life. Ended up going to combat, did a combat tour in Iraq. But yeah, the serving in the Marine Corps kind of just laid the foundation for everything that came after that, for my business, me wanting to be a business owner, for me being a husband, me being a father, me wanting to be a leader in the community. I don't think any of that really would have happened if it wasn't for me going into the military.
Now, how old were you at 9/11?
With 9/11, I was 18 when I went in. I was 20. I was probably 20 when 9/11 happened. Yeah.
Now, okay, and we could dwell on that, and I don't think we have the time for that. And I'd like to unpack that at some point, because 9/11 is our JFK assassination. Like, this was just huge for our generation, and you remember where you were at. But let's jump forward. How did your service in the military, do you think, contribute to what you consider your business ethic or your entrepreneurial urge?
Well, that's, the Marine Corps, the core value is honor, courage, commitment. So you try to take that and apply it everything you can in life, or at least that's what I do. And it just taught me how to become a man, really. I mean, you go in a boy and you turn into a man, or at least that's the goal.
So, I mean, was it things like, hey, man, I'm just confident I can do anything now? I mean, I was in theater of war. Why can't I build $1 million business? Like, what are some of the thoughts that go through your head when you encounter trials like COVID as a small business owner? Yeah, I mean, you're right. There was, one of the things that I really picked up in the Marine Corps that we did a lot of, and I did it this morning, is run. And I really got an obsession with running. I think running leads to mental toughness. And I think that mental toughness is huge, not only in just everyday life, but for running a business. Yeah. All right. Now, so you guys encountered COVID. Did you see any halt in, I guess, revenue in the early parts of COVID?
So April was the first month in about 3 years that we actually dipped. Typically, we go up every month. As a matter of fact, right before I got on with you, we landed a deal that now we've surpassed January 2020. We'll just keep going up. But April last year was the first month we did not go up. Yeah. And so I was a little bit scared. It was like, oh man, I don't know what's going to happen here. Yeah. But we were able to just make some changes, make some pivots, and we ultimately grew 40%.
Now that's huge. So I know that we did 40% 2018 to 2019. We stalled out 2019. We are break even for 2019. I'm sorry, we ended 2020 break even the year before. We saw new clients. We lost some clients because of the nature of our clients. Now, when you said you pivoted, did you guys consciously focus on a niche? What did you do to kind of preserve your growth?
We did. So one of the biggest things in our company is customer service. A lot of people focus more on the technical side, and yes, you do need to be technically confident and know how to do the job, but above and beyond that, to me, is customer service. Customer service is what gets that repeat customer to come back. And so due to our outstanding customer service that our team provides, we were really able to rely on a lot of repeat customers coming back. About 60% of our overall revenue is repeat business. And that's huge. So
60.
Yes, correct.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. So, it's way easier, way cheaper to keep a customer than to go get a new customer. Yeah. And especially that really paid dividends during that time for us, that time frame. But we were able to add we added a service that really took off on us. Yeah. It was something I was kind of holding back in reserve. It was like a special bullet I had that we were holding back. And when COVID happened, I was like, well, this is the perfect time to fire it. So, and it really helped us, grew us, like I said, 40%. And
how long had you been working on that silver bullet?
About a year.
Just so before COVID, you've already been nurturing another 1-2 punch of some kind. Was it a marketing push or a niche push? You don't.
Yeah, it was a niche. It was a specific service that we added to the industry or to our company. Yeah, it was the right time, right moment, and it. Yeah. I thought I knew it would be successful. I had goals, I had hopes, but we doubled what my goal was for that specific service.
Yeah, man. Now, you mentioned masterminds, and before we got on the show, Ryan confessed that he's in several powerful masterminds, most of which are not local, but they're definitely assertive and aggressive in their business plans, and they hold each other accountable. In fact, Ryan, you said that you guys look at each other's numbers, and that's awesome. I love that. From your best assessment, why do you think a company gets hung up under the $1 million mark? Gets stuck.
Well, we get in our own way. I mean, I know that's my biggest problem is I just get in my own way. I think, our business is only going to grow as much as we are willing to grow personally.
Oh my God, dropping bombs. Wow.
To me, life is, if life is a game, like the name of the game is personal growth. Like every day I try to grow personally. It used to be, say, 4 or 5 years ago, just driving around in my car, doing whatever I'm doing, I'm listening to music. Now, the only thing I listen to is podcasts. I consume a lot of information on how to be a better person.
Oh, wow.
But I think more importantly is I implement that.
Yes.
Someone once told me everybody knows how to have a six-pack, but how many people actually have a six-pack?
Yeah.
Implementing the knowledge is what the hard part is.
Yeah.
So it's good to consume knowledge, but if you're not doing anything with it, then
yeah. Now what is the most influential personal development material that just rocked you? Not necessarily the freshest, though it could be. What's the most powerful that you're like, I'm doing this from here on out?
Profit first.
Preach! Oh, do I have it right here? No, but I've got I've got several of Michael Michalowicz's stuff right here. Fix This Next has been awesome. Clockwork. How long ago did you implement Profit First?
3 years ago. 3 years ago. And
wow.
But before, I don't even know if I truly understood what profit was until I read, because I was like, well, of course I'm profitable. I have a salary. I pay myself. That's my profit. Nope. And that really changed my life. That book, E-Myth was a huge one.
E-Myth Revisited is fantastic, but I want to stay on this Profit First because you're right. This is a pressure point, pain point. This is the thing people avoid, the mirror. Talking about abs, people avoid looking at the mirror when they realize they don't have abs. Profit is another one of them. When you started reading Profit First, aside from the allocations, what habits did you implement immediately that got you results?
Reading my P&L, understanding how to read my P&L.
Did you get help?
I did. I got help. I had a bookkeeper that was a Profit First bookkeeper, and I learned a lot from her on how to actually read the P&L. Wow. Distributing the money, having the different bank accounts, distributing on the 10th and the 25th.
Yeah,
is huge. That might be that little trick right there. Distributing the money.
Yes,
might be the biggest, at least the most powerful thing for me.
Yeah. Well, and even if you have a lean month, it's wild. Even like our business, we entered the market in 2013, transparently. We had just moved back from the Dominican Republic and we entered the Lakeland market, and we worked as a coach, and I was getting my coaching rate, but then we started doing websites because people couldn't focus on coaching. They were bothered by their website, the same with bookkeeping. So we started getting the websites, and I was just like, I'm going to undercut everybody. And it worked, and our skills have gotten better. Now we're producing like killer websites, and our prices are still way low. As you can imagine, I wasn't planning on scaling. I was just going to get subscriptions and move back to the island. But now that I'm scaling, and now that I'm looking at Profit First, our margins have been so tight that we didn't realize, like you said, what profit was for years. And then we implemented Profit First, and you do that first allocation, and suddenly you're like, this is the first profit I've paid in like years, and I can grow. So even on lean months, the way the allocations work, you're still like profit. People are getting paid. Payroll's being met. I just am doing other things, a little leaner. Yeah. That's huge, man. So, what are you most hopeful for? Aside from giving away your niche and your game plan, which you don't want to do necessarily, what are some of the big milestones you're trying to hit over the next 18 months for you or your team or your family?
Well, we got our revenue goal, our profit goal. We definitely want to hire more individuals. I feel like my business, I really want to focus on leadership and be impactful and help to change lives of others and enrich others.
Yeah.
We one of the biggest things in our company is I feel is our company culture. I never want to have a company where you just collect a paycheck. You can go collect a paycheck anywhere. I want it to be much more than that. So building a company that people want to be a part of is huge.
Yeah. And what has influenced your vision? And your lovely bride jumped in here to there she is. Giving back.
Yeah, and we're doing some things with the city where we really want to give back to the community. That could be our time, that could be some of the profits that we do, but giving back and ultimately creating a better Lakeland.
Yeah. And what has influenced you about culture? Have you read or studied any culture stuff specifically?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, a lot of podcasts, most podcasts that I listen to are dedicated to culture. Books that I read are about culture. It's, it's something culture and leadership are two things that I'm always trying to learn and get better at. Because I think that's two areas that everyone should strive to be better at, being a better leader and having better culture.
Yeah.
I look at companies like Publix, Chick-fil-A, and they just have great culture. And I think that's one of the reasons they're just so successful is, people want to work there and it shows.
What can you think of any podcast that you really like for culture as opposed to leadership? Who do you listen to for that?
You know who Ed Mylett is, and he's not so much culture, but we're me and my wife both are big Ed Mylett fans. He does dabble in culture. I know Tony Robbins, he's done some great things. Andy Frisella, I'm not sure if you know who Andy Frisella is.
No, I'm writing stuff down as you're talking,
Andy Frisella had MFCEO, and that was really big in culture.
Yeah, man, that's huge. And then leadership, obviously, your service in the Marines led to you being hyper aware of leadership. What leadership content have you gravitated to? Or if you're trying to raise up a leader in the team, what do you guide them to?
Yeah, well, I'm sure you're familiar with this guy, but Jocko's huge.
Yeah, Jocko Willink, yeah.
Yeah, he might be the most sought after leader right now. He's real big. Yeah. So I really consume a lot of, read his books, listen to his podcasts.
Yeah, man. Okay. And what's the name of his podcast? Remind me if you don't mind.
I got it right here.
Yeah.
I think it's just called the Jackal Podcast.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know if
man. Tim Ferriss started interviewing this guy, and I'm like, who's this jarhead?
That's how I found about him. Yeah, it's just called Jackal Podcast. I'm looking at it right now. But that's how I found out about him too, was on the Tim Ferriss.
Yeah, man.
And then Joe Rogan had him on, and
I love, of course, Joe's the granddaddy of all things podcasting, but I'm really encouraged. It is convicting to me. I am Mr. Personal Development, and it sounds like your brain is fresher on this content than mine is, just as a CEO doing his best. So I really applaud you for how far you're taking your study. And even as you said, not a high school graduate, but that didn't matter about 3 months into being a Marine, that didn't matter no more. Like you were your own man, dude. And then nurturing this content, dude, I just got to give you props. Listen, your time is up. My time is up. For those watching, the best place for people to find you is your Facebook page for Xcellent Xteriors?
Yes, or the website, XcellentXteriors.com. We keep that fresh. We keep that updated. And,
man.
Has all the links to all our social media, email, any way you want to get hold of us.
Well, hey, man, if you get that mastermind going, count me in, seriously. Yeah. And we'll have you back on the show, dude, when you guys have more time, and just keep sharing information, brother. Yeah. Hey, thanks, everyone, for stopping by. We're going to let this guy get back to building an empire. So thank you guys for stopping in, and visit XcellentXteriors.com or the Facebook page, Xcellent Xteriors. And we look forward to seeing you guys next time. Here's to you igniting your own life.